The issue of abortion has become so politicized in the culture that many pastors want to stay away from it because they think that they're entering into a cultural debate and a politically sensitive, volatile discussion, when actually our job is to give God's viewpoint on any subject and every subject, regardless of where it may wind up in the culture, because God has spoken and he hadn't stuttered. There are two answers to every question, God's and everybody else's. Everybody else is wrong. It's the preacher's job to give God's perspective on whatever the culture is talking about. Some pastors may have had abortions in their own backgrounds, whether it's in their own marriage or in their own pre-marriage or with their own children. And of course, that may make them skittish about talking about a subject that they themselves need some recovery from. But if we had to be perfect preachers, nobody would be in the pulpit. We have to speak God's truth and apply it to ourselves as we apply it to others, knowing we're in a transformational process just like everybody else. Some pastors think, well, this is a woman's issue. Well, actually, there's a baby involved and there's a man involved. So it's not just a woman's issue. And it's a life issue. And because it's a life issue, it's a God issue because men are created in the image of God. So there's no way to escape or to put it over on the side like it's not an issue for the whole church, because the whole church is going to have to relate to this woman or these ladies who are facing this. And so if the church is going to have to minister to it, single parents are predominantly a woman's issue, but we don't skip the issue because it's an issue that the church has to face. Some people worry about resources. How can I put together a ministry like this in my church? What about the cost factor? Well, the beautiful thing about pregnancy care ministry, even as we've discovered in our own church, is that it's driven by our volunteers. And in fact, one of the reasons why we don't have more people volunteering in our church is they don't get enough options to use their gifts, skills, talents, and passions to serve others. And at our church, we have 130 ministry opportunities, and you can't even join unless you agree to serve, and pregnancy care is one of those areas. So we want to make sure people have opportunities. And one of the great ways to get volunteers are people who have gone through the same thing they're volunteering to help somebody else through. Because now they can take their experience, good, bad, and ugly, and use it as a benefit. And there's so many ladies, because a lot of blind eyes exist in pulpits, that this doesn't really happen in my church. Well, the reason it doesn't happen in your church is because they're not telling you about it. Because it has happened in every church, and it is widespread, but it is very secret. Because people are afraid of what they'll run into in church. When you remove that fear, you'll find out that there are a lot of people who want to come forth to prevent abortions, struggling with abortions, or post-abortion help. And when you discover that, you not only have a vital ministry for those people, but a vital ministry for people who know people. And it becomes an outreach tool of your church as well. And what we do as pastors to address this is establish ministries. We have ministries for the various needs of our congregants and of the people we serve in our communities. But it's unfortunate that many churches, most churches, don't have ministries to deal with the issue of abortion. And I think this concern is so great, and I'm personally invested in it because our congregation is predominantly African American, and when you see 13% of the population having over 30% of the abortions, then it becomes a critical issue.